So if you got to go on any trips or vacation this summer, I hope you picked up something to remember the trip by. I've got some really fun things to show, and holy smokes, do I have some big news. Welcome to Janky Puzzles. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. I am a sucker for souvenirs, and I can't wait. Oh, I've got some cool things today. So, like I mentioned, if you're one of the fortunate folks that who got to go on vacation or got to go out of town, people have a lot of cool things to sell when you're on your vacation. That's prime. You make bad decisions when you're out of town. I bought Janky Jr. a Space Needle pencil sharpener from the airport in Seattle a couple months ago. To something that he doesn't need, had never been to, but he asked about the Space Needle a couple times. So let me tell you, I'm a sucker for souvenirs. As you can see, I bought, and again, this is in the year of our Lord 2025, I bought a 2023 Huckleberry Festival from a small town that it's about 100 miles north of here. So I love a good souvenir, whether it's up to date or not. And today is no different. I've got a lot of really cool puzzles to show you about souvenirs, and then something really cool to show you at the end. So first off, now, usually I do like one puzzle and we talk about it, but I've got quite a few different things to talk about today. So the first puzzle that I want to show off is one from the collection. Now, this is your good classic souvenir puzzle, right? Mount Rushmore. It's kind of a novelty because it's round, and this is from Whitman. I'm having a hard time tracking down the year of this bad boy. I believe it's probably from the 60s, if not early 70s, maybe. Like I said, it is a Whitman, and this is of Mount Rushmore. Really cool because, for one, it's round, which, in and itself is kind of cool. And I like the angle of this because you see these trees and stuff. Usually when the pictures of Mount Rushmore is right on, you can see this mountain over here. But this is a little bit lined up differently. So that's what I really cool about this. I'm going to get into this one later in a future video. I have some really cool memories of Mount Rushmore. So this will be for another date, but I just wanted to show some of this off. Now, like I said, souvenir puzzles like that, they come in all different kinds, even simple ones like this one. Now, this one, it's from Encore, Mega Puzzles, Mega Blocks. This is actually it's from Arizona, and when I was getting all prepared for this, I made sure to memorize Cathedral Rock in Sedona, Arizona. Now, my friend Ian gave this to me. I've never been to Sedona, Arizona. I don't think my friend Ian's ever been to Sedona, Arizona. He found this in actually one of those free libraries that they have in most small towns. If you do not have a free lending library in your area, look into getting one. They're really cool because you can find a lot more than just books in there. He found this little souvenir puzzle in here, and he knows that I love souvenir type puzzles, and it's a beautiful little thing. And then, of course, you've got your standard wide. You see these a lot in like airports and stuff. This is Portland, a nice wide panoramic puzzle. This one came from a local thrift store, as they do. This one was taken. The photographer was Steve Terrell. So if you're watching, which you're not, but if you are, thanks for your picture. Yeah. You could find a lot of fun panoramic picture puzzles like this. This one's kind of cool. Portland. Now, I also like a cityscape, a landmark. Those are fun. A lot of times too, you can find puzzles that are not of the what your area is known for. Like this one is a Big Ben. It is from 2003, a little bit earlier than what I normally like to cover, but that's okay. And this one is the Golden Gate Park Conservatory from San Francisco. Now, if you're going to do a puzzle of San Francisco, and you don't ever have like the lady houses from Full House, which TBT, I have something funny to talk about that in a future video. And you can have this instead of the Golden Gate Bridge or those tall, skinny houses. This really cool cathedral thing from San Francisco. And when this came out, you could win a 4-day getaway for 2. I should see how to enter this and see if I can enter it, even though this is like 22 years old. That'll be funny. All right, so again, really cool souvenir, something you might build later on to remember that you went to I don't know why I can't remember the name of that town off the top of my head, San Francisco, but yeah, really cool thing. Like, this is fun. And it's a Big Ben. You know, we always like the Big Ben ones. Some other cool ones. Now this, again, brand new. This is not, this is what you'll see traditionally in a lot of gift shops and things like that. My good friend Jerry from Michigan sent this to me. And these are the lighthouses of Door County. Beautiful collage of the local lighthouses there. And I am a sucker for lighthouses, and I am a sucker for marine stuff. And he sent this to me, and I love it so much, and I can't bear to open it, but I love it very much. So again, a really cool souvenir when you come back from a trip, or if you want to bring a souvenir back, something like this. Okay, we're moving right along with different types of souvenir puzzles. My best friend Jeremiah and my best friend's wife and my best friend Casey from Alaska earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to go see them, and they gave me this, a beautiful painting of Alaska, of Matanuska Glacier. The artist is Dawn Garrity. I'm actually going to reach out to her because this is a very beautiful painting that she did. Painting, very important. No, you're not going to see any AI puzzles or anything like this in this channel. If I suspect that something is AI, I'm not going to do it. And luckily, when you're dealing with vintage puzzles, you're not going to deal too much with AI. So regardless, I got off track. This is a cool souvenir type of puzzle as well. A nice painting, a lot of good information about the artist, and a link actually to them. So artseriously.com. I might reach out to her too. So okay, a good souvenir puzzle to bring this back to somebody or to keep for yourself. These are awesome. Now I'm going to show you a couple little ones that are, well, I think that's kind of like the thing of these shows, like I'm always dropping stuff. Now I got a couple. All right, so an elephant in the room. We'll talk about dowdle real quick. I'm not going to get too deep into dowdle, just because what can be said about dowdle? Dowdle puzzles usually come in a really nice little box, or sometimes like this. This actually came in a suitcase. There's a whole series of puzzles that he did, that he's done of different towns. He's very, you could find he actually did one of Costco. Out in the garage, I've got some from like the Boy Scouts. The major cities in the country, you can find a dowdle puzzle of. And my hometown here, Boise, Idaho, is no different. The wrapping to the box is gone. But so this is what this puzzle looks like. So he's very busy. There's also a lot of different events and landmarks over the years, kind of a snapshot in time of when this was painted. And on this little paper here, there's a whole series of these ones that came in suitcases. So at the thrift store, I was fortunate enough to get my hands on the Boise one. But yeah, if you're into big, busy puzzles, a lot of people love these. I've got my thoughts on dowdle, and again, we'll cover that in the future. So, like Boston, Chicago, Marblehead, Portland, Solvang. Actually, there's a little small town in Solvang. I didn't realize that he did one from Solvang, California, which I have family near there, and I've been there when I was a kid. Very cool little place. Even Salt Lake City, because I think he's based out of Salt Lake City. Actually, he is. He's based out of Utah. He did Noah's Ark and all sorts of cool stuff. So dowdles are very popular. They rank right up there with Thomas Kincaid. Again, a topic for another day. So, good classic souvenir puzzle of your hometown. So I've got a couple different ones that might be a little non-traditional, but still kind of cool. Kind of discussion pieces. This little guy. Boop. Look at that. This is the mass transit metro lines of Washington, D.C. A little 100-piece metro lines of Washington, D.C. puzzle. How cool is that? Don't ask me where I found this, but I love this kind of stuff. Any kind of branded thing. This was from Metro, advertising something called Smart Trip. Any kind of branded stuff like this, I'm a sucker for. And old souvenir puzzles as well. So, again, hey, I got you something. I got you the subway lines from Washington, D.C. Now, the fact that I have this, the fact that the person who bought this doesn't have it anymore. But this is really sweet. This actually came from England. And again, I don't know how I came about it, but this one is really neat. Your town, your puzzle, and it's personalized. Okay. So from what I understand, you give them your address. Okay. And what they'll do is on your address, they have a piece in the shape of a house, right? They will put that on your address, and the rest of the puzzle is the street maps of your town. So you can have a personalized puzzle of your house right there. How cool is that? This, I think, would also be a really cool Valentine's Day anniversary gift for somebody. The address of where you had your first kiss, had your meet cute, where you got married at, your honeymoon, the first house you bought, the first apartment you shared. This would be a cool thing. I really like this. I'm gonna do some more research on this one as well. This is cool. I like this a lot. And it looks like it's even individually numbered. So your information, I shouldn't probably show that number. So your information is saved. Do some more digging on this. This is really cool. So, but why we're here today, okay? I have a puzzle review. This is a new puzzle. And I spoke with the gentleman from this company and said I love his stuff. And if the opportunity ever arose to review his puzzles, because he does a lot of really cool art, and if I ever got a chance to review his puzzles, I'd be happy to do so and give my honest thoughts. Well, y'all, literally within minutes, he messaged me back and said, Joey, with tears in his eyes, I would love it if you did that. He did not do that. However, he did send me this post haste. I've been sitting on it for a while, and again, new puzzle. All right, we deal in vintage puzzles around here, but this is a special thing. This is from BoiseOG.com. These folks, and Kelly, the artist, specializes in city-specific art and things of that nature to the town, specifically Boise, obviously. And this one's really cool. And obviously, if you don't live in the Treasure Valley area of Idaho, this won't mean too much to you, but this I can't stress enough is really, really cool. I'm gonna have some really cool pictures of that. I don't know why my lighting is really weird today. I'll have some really good shots of this, and we'll talk about it more. This is a 1,000-piece puzzle, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And the cool thing about this is these are all landmarks or events that have happened in the Treasure Valley, Boise area over the years. Even things that you might have seen online, like right here. is a Fat Kevin crossing road sign. Fat Kevin was a kind of a local celebrity for a while. He was a big fat squirrel. And fun fact, I had the opportunity to babysit him for a couple of days, me and Mrs. Janky, a few years ago. So before I start getting too deep into the lore of Boise and the good folks at BoiseOG, hey, we're going to put this together and I'll see you on the other side. All right? Cool. Oh, man. Okay, so I've done a lot of puzzles, right? And sometimes you get into like a zone, all right? Like you kind of lock in. You're doing one that you enjoy. It's the style you like. This one, I'm not talking from a place of like nostalgia, because obviously I'll show you here in a second. This is something that I'm familiar with, but this was the type of puzzle I kind of like. It's busy, but it's not too complicated. Like you could see exactly where things go, and I'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I had every intention of setting up the camera to do a time lapse, because I haven't done one of those in a while. And but as I started getting into it, I was like, man, this was just so much fun. It's 1,000 pieces, and I got it knocked out in about an hour and a half. It was a lot of fun. Time lapses are really cool, and there's a lot of cool ones out there. A guy by the name that can only change one. I'll link his stuff in the bottom. He does some really cool time lapses. Anyway, so let's get to the puzzle, right? So you saw the box, which is right here. This box does not give this puzzle justice. And let me show you what I got. Let's just get into it, right? Old famous puzzle table. Holy smokes. So as it gets blown up a little bit bigger, there's a lot of details in here that I kind of missed on the box. Now, mind you, a lot of this stuff is obviously from the capital of Idaho, Boise. And if you're around this area, if you're one of the local people that watch the show, which again, hello, or if you're, not from here, like my friends in Australia or my friends over in El Salvador, Ecuador, wrong. It may not mean too much to you, but this is a lot of fun. So again, these are all mostly defunct places here in the state of Idaho, the capital city of Boise. We've got, like I mentioned earlier, Fat Kevin. There is this Twin Dragon restaurant was a popular Chinese restaurant that went out of business a few years ago. Oddly enough, a lot of Chinese restaurants here in the valley are going out of business right now. A lot of restaurants are, actually. Dutch Goose was a popular bar there for a while. You got Bob Ross here. He's advertising Boise Blue Art Supply, which was an art store here. Bogies. Now, Bogies, interestingly enough, here in Boise, we used to have basically a nightclub for 18-year-olds. It was a dance club. It was a bar. Obviously, you couldn't drink liquor there if you were younger, but it was like a really weird nightclub for post-high school teenagers. There's nothing really like that anymore. Bring something like that back. That was pretty cool. On here we have Copple's Browsville, which was a kind of a curio shop here. Kind of had a little bit of everything. They called it the Browsville because you could just kind of walk around. It was just kind of like a junk store for nerds. Had a lot of really cool things. Fun fact, a really good friend of mine, him and his wife, have this sign. They found it at a yard sale, and they have the sign from the old Copple's Browsville in their garage. And right here, as you can see, looks like an alien ship. That is the old logo to the Boise School District, which oddly enough I worked at, and our logo looked just like that. They recently changed it though, so I had some shirts and stuff with that logo on it. This one right here, Wild Waters, was a water park here in Boise that when I was a kid, they would just drop me off there. I was like 9 years old. My parents would just drop me off there in the morning, and I'd hang out at the water park all day. Then they'd pick me up in the afternoon. 1 year I had a pass. It was really cool. Interestingly enough, my cousin, who would spend his summers with us, he won a. They had a tan line contest, and he won best tan line because his fleece was white as snow, and he had a dark tan because he was there at the water park with me all the time, and he won like two like 36 can flats of RC Cola, and we sat and drank RC Cola for felt like months. It was hilarious. Now, a couple quick things, and then we'll wrap up here. There's another thing here called the Fun Spot. Boise used to have, those carnivals that kind of travel around. They'll come to your town like during the summer, like basically the fair, but sometimes they're not as big. They'll have a few rides. They won't have like the big roller coasters or Ferris wheels or anything like that. But Boise had one that was just always down there. They had a bunch of rides. It was just like this carnival that never left. It was really weird. And that was the Fun Spot. And the good folks there at BoiseOG decided to make a logo of that. Lots and lots of really cool things. Skate World was a roller rink, again, that my parents dropped me and my brothers off when we were kids. And just leave us there all evening, and then they'd pick us back up. So there's a couple things on here that I want to... There's this right here, I Survived Camel's Back Park, and Hyde Park, which is these two are connected. Camel's Back Park and Hyde Park are connected. And I want to show you something right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to Janky Puzzles. As you can tell, it's a little bit different. We're not in the garage. We're at the puzzle table. We've come out to the streets. So I wanted to show you something cool. Now, I've got this souvenir puzzle, right? When I first saw this at the thrift store, I thought, all right, well, I mean, it's all right. Some sort of weird town. The picture itself is not very interesting. It's two colors, or two textures, ground and the sky. It's kind of boring. But, I wonder what town this is. It's my hometown. Taken from right about where I'm standing. This is Boise, Idaho. Taken from Camel's Back Park in downtown Boise. We're at the top of it. Right now there's a festival going on down at the bottom. And I hoofed my fat self up this mountain, this hill, to take this picture, to show off this ugly puzzle. So there's better souvenir puzzles out there. All right, back to the studio. Holy crap. So climbing up that hill sucked. I'm a big fat dude, obviously, and I could say that, it's our word. We could say that. Working on that though. Trying to watch what I eat. So yeah, climbing up that hill sucked, but that was a lot of fun to match that up. And I showed that picture that I took to a lot of people at work, and they really loved it. So I could go all day long just breaking down this poster, this puzzle, sticker by sticker, but it really speaks for itself. It's really, really cool. We had a two-headed cow in our museum for a long time, and that's on here as well. I showed this puzzle to my neighbors, and I was all excited, like, you guys got to see this. This is so cool. And I looked, and they just stared at it like they were reading hieroglyphics. They kind of like, oh, there's Bob Ross. I'm like, and then I forgot they're not from here. So if you're not from here, yeah, no, none of this makes sense. And that's okay. Even if you have no emotional attachment to anything that's on this puzzle, it was still a lot of fun. It went together super, super fast because nothing is like anything else. There was very few pieces that didn't look like something else. And the cool part is that this isn't, no, obviously that's kind of my favorite, or when the puzzles pieces are like horizontal and vertical, because they're easy to sort. This one is, I'll show some close-up pictures of this. This one is more of like a bits and pieces type of puzzle. And if you're familiar with what a bits and pieces puzzle is, a lot of pieces of them are like triangle shaped with the little ends sticking out. Right here, you'll see what I'm talking about. So in that regard, if I had to do some cons, is that not everybody likes that style cut, but it is a little bit more different and adds a little bit more variety. So for me personally, I prefer the different kind, but I still enjoyed the heck out of this. If I can give this any other cons, maybe it is pretty niche. Like you had to have lived in Boise for a long time to know what these are. But I think that's its charm, and I think that's what makes this special. So that's going to be a big yes for me, dog. I really appreciate everybody at BoiseOG. I had an opportunity to meet Kelly and his family. Actually, Kelly wasn't there, so I'm sorry you weren't there, bud. But I really look forward to shaking your hand and thanking you. But yeah, I met Kelly's family, and they were amazing. And this puzzle's awesome. And even if you have no emotional attachment, it's still a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. So BoiseOG.com. I know we talk about old puzzles on this channel, but it was really fun to review a brand new one. Again, another critique is that when it was done, I was bummed because I wanted to do some more. So I'm definitely going to put this away and do it again in the future. Obviously, because there's emotional attachment. So again, thanks again, BoiseOG. Hey, future Joey here. I forgot to point out on the BoiseOG puzzle, there's a foam finger. It says, I miss Kellen. Kellen Moore was the quarterback to the Broncos here in Boise, who has now gone on to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. And oddly enough, years ago, I got to be in a commercial where Kellen Moore dumped a Gatorade thing on top of my head, and they didn't use the footage, but they did put the picture in a magazine, and I'll put that picture right here. All right, cool. Thanks for watching. As always, really appreciate you checking us out. Let me know. Oh man, I don't have them with me. We have a little mascot. We have a little crocheted mascot, the little our little octopus / Cthulhu guy with puzzle pieces and a coffee cup. I'm going to put a picture of the little guy right here. We're going to sell these things, but we don't know how much to charge for them. So let me know, I don't know, what's a fair price? Because I know they're kind of neat. And so let me know, and I guess I'll put a little picture of it right here. Don't forget to do things underneath. You know how YouTube is. Everything is... we all live and die by the algorithm, and we can really use a little boost these days. So even if you just say, hi, how are you, in the comments, or drop the name of your favorite, your favorite defunct Chinese restaurant, or if there's anything on this puzzle that I don't know, you remember fondly of, put some on there, because again, all that helps the channel grow. I was hoping to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, but if we can get to 300 subscribers by the end of the year, I'd be chef kiss perfect. I would love that. That'd be great. So remember, do good things, be good people. Find yourself a weird puzzle from your town that's not just a picture of the Capitol building or whatever. There's some cool stuff out here. Your town is cool, and there's some cool things in there. I know, because I've been to a few towns and they're all cool, and yours is too. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. The Red Steer restaurant was a really good place.